There was a long line outside the tall gray building with mirrored doors. People were nervously checking their phones, straightening their clothes, pretending to be more confident than they really were. Amelia stood slightly apart, arms crossed, trying not to show how badly her hands were trembling. It was her first real chance after a long break, her moment to prove she still had it. She didn't know that today her life was about to change forever. Sarah appeared suddenly, wearing a light coat, a soft smile on her lips, and an air of calm that seemed to quiet the world around her. She approached and asked politely, "Is this the line for the casting?" "Yes," Amelia answered shortly, trying not to look at her for too long. But their eyes met anyway, and something held. There was something about Sarah, a blend of confidence and warmth, as if she carried sunlight inside her. She stood next to Amelia, flipping through a script, nervously biting her lip. Amelia couldn't help but smile. "So, you're an actress too?" "Trying to be," Sarah laughed. "And you?" "I was," Amelia said softly. "Then I decided maybe it wasn't for me. But I guess fate had other plans." Their conversation flowed easily, but beneath it there was a quiet electricity, the kind that only happens when two souls recognize each other before the mind can understand why. Amelia listened as Sarah spoke about quitting her stable job to chase her dream. Her voice carried both fear and courage, and something in it awakened what Amelia had buried long ago. When Sarah was finally called in for her audition, Amelia stayed by the door, waiting. Minutes later, Sarah came out with bright eyes and shaking hands. "I think I messed it up," she whispered. "Doesn't look like it," Amelia said with a smile. "You're glowing." They laughed, and something in the air changed. Later, when Amelia finished her own audition, she found Sarah still waiting outside. "How did it go?" Sarah asked. "I think I remembered why I love this," Amelia replied. "And not just acting." Sarah looked up at her. There was curiosity in her eyes, and something deeper. They went for coffee at a small cafe around the corner. Outside, light rain tapped against the window. Inside, it smelled of cinnamon and roasted beans. Sarah shared stories from her past, how she'd always been afraid of being different, how she'd hidden parts of herself just to fit in. Amelia listened quietly, then admitted she'd done the same, always trying to be acceptable, until one day she simply got tired of hiding. "I think," Sarah said softly, "sometimes we meet someone who just lets us be who we are, no explanations needed." Amelia didn't answer. She just reached across the table and brushed her fingers against Sarah's. The touch was gentle, almost nothing, but it changed everything. Sarah didn't pull away. Instead, she intertwined their fingers, as if that was exactly where her hand was meant to be. After coffee, they walked for hours, laughing in the rain, without umbrellas. The city seemed quieter, softer. Amelia couldn't remember the last time she'd felt so alive. A week later, both of them got the call. They'd been chosen. On the first day of filming, the director asked them to shoot a scene where their characters confessed their feelings for each other. Amelia's heart raced as Sarah stepped closer. The camera rolled, but the world disappeared. When their lips finally met, Amelia knew it wasn't acting. It was the truth that had been growing between them since the moment they met at that door. After the scene ended, they stood in silence for a while. Finally, Sarah said quietly, "You know, sometimes life writes better scripts than we do." From that day on, things changed. They spent more time together, rehearsals, late-night coffee, endless walks through the glowing streets. Everything between them felt effortless, real. Until one night, Amelia admitted, "I don't know what comes next, but I know I don't want this to end." Sarah stepped closer, her hand gentle on Amelia's cheek. "Then let's not think about later," she whispered. "Let's just be." And they were. No grand promises, no loud declarations. Just two women who had found each other where they least expected, in a place where everyone was waiting for a role, only to realize theirs had already been written in their hearts. That night, when they were finally alone with no cameras, they sat by the window, listening to the rain. Amelia confessed that she'd always feared closeness, that she didn't believe she could ever be loved for real. Sarah smiled and said softly, "I don't want to change you. I just want you to stop hiding. Those words unlocked something inside her. For the first time, Amelia let herself be imperfect, vulnerable, human. And when Sarah kissed her, it wasn't fiery or staged. It was quiet, warm, and full of truth. Later, they lay side by side, sharing warmth and silence. Sarah ran her fingers through Amelia's hair, and Amelia memorized the rhythm of her breathing. "If I could choose one scene for my whole life," Sarah whispered, "I'd choose this one. No lights, no audience, just us." Amelia smiled, pressing closer. "Then let's make sure it never ends." Outside, the city lights blurred with the rain, and inside, two hearts finally beat in sync, proof that sometimes love finds us not on stage, but between takes, in the quiet moments where everything feels real. That was the night when the casting truly became destiny.